Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to my channel for something a little different today, but this is something I really wanted to do on my channel for a really long time, and we're gonna jump into it today. As you can see from the title on what you're seeing here is Blossom's Epics November 20th 2019 tier list maker. So basically what we're doing today is I'm going to be ranking every single epic I have in my garage as of November 20th 2019. This is something I've really wanted to do for a while, but I've been holding back from it because I thought it would take a long time, because what I basically have to do is take a picture of every epic I have, then crop it out, and then upload it onto a tier list maker. And I thought it would take 1 or 2 hours, but luckily it took me about 30 minutes to get this as a result. And look at this, this is actually beautiful. Boom. Wow. That is basically every epic I have in my garage compressed into one screen. It's really rare that you can see a site like this as well, because usually in top drives you have that garage where you have to scroll left and scroll right to see, but you can't see everything at once. But here, as you can see, all 65 epics in all of its glory. Actually, I have 66 in total. I have 2 Cadillac XT5s, but because they're upgraded the same exact way, I decided not to put both of them in there because it's literally the same thing and they're gonna end up in the same rank. But this is literally every epic I have in my garage as of November 20th 2019, so it's looking really good. I see a lot of key cars in here, you know, the Hellcats obviously. I see the Z51s, M3 CSs, a couple great BMWs as well, and the Mirai. However, I am missing out on a lot of key epics. Looking at this, no CT6, no wide body, no compressor, no BTR2, but hopefully we'll get them one day. With that said, I think I'm gonna just keep all these files in my computer, so in the future I can continue and update this playlist or this tier list as we go along with the dates, I guess. And once again, if you guys are interested, if you want to, you know, play God or just play me, I'm not God, just two absolutely different things, I'm sorry. But if you want to play me and you want to also have access to this tier list to see how you would, I guess, be the manager of my garage and what you would do to my cars, I will have the link in the description to this tier list below for this video. So let me just jump into the different ranks I have. The first one is Immortal, and these are basically the cars that I will never fuse or sell or do anything bad to in my garage, or at least just the epics. These are cars that, you know, are really useful. They have high win rates, probably over 1,000 races with a win rate of over 80%, and I personally like the car a lot in real life as well. Not a lot of cars are going to fall under Immortal. However, there will be a couple cars that fall under the rank that's below it, which is Knighthood. Knighthood is basically, you know, cars that I also really like, and they're also really useful. But I guess the only difference between Knighthood and Immortal is Immortal are probably epics which tell a story. You know, maybe I've won it, or I've gotten it from a pack which I didn't expect to get an epic from, or it's not a Charger Hellcat. You know, basically stuff like that. But Knighthood they basically go to just really useful cars as well. The rank below is Useful. These are basically cars that, you know, I've probably maxed or want to max, and they will secure the win in top drives for me, and I will use them and I will enjoy using them. But the only reason why they're not under Knighthood is probably because I don't like that car too much, and you will see why when I start putting cars in their brackets. Below Useful is Sentimental. These are basically cars where they're not actually that good, but they're also not bad, and also I don't want to sell or fuse them, because I just personally like the car. And there'll be a couple cars that fall under Sentimental here, namely basically every duplicate Challenger Hellcat I have. These are basically cars I like, and it would just pain me to see me, I guess, fuse them away. Next one is Potential Fuse. These are basically the cars where I will fuse if I have to fuse. Like, these are the last resort fuses. It's like Potential Fuse is basically cars that I would fuse when the cars that I would fuse have already been fused. Does that make sense? That was literally a lot of the F word in like one sentence. Not the bad F word though. And last one is trash. That speaks for itself. Trash cars are trash. I will fuse them on site. So with that said, let's jump into the video, starting off with the Porsche Boxster GTS, and we're starting off strong here in the trash category. We're putting that thing in trash right away. RQ23, the statistics are horrible. The only thing good about it is probably the MRA, and it has a very beautiful picture as well. I'll give it credit where it's due. It's a very nice picture. However, I'm never going to use it. So that's going to be fused, that's going to be trash. Followed by that is the Range Rover 5.0 V8. Now this car is useful. It's maxed out. It beats the Trailblazer in basically any drag or fast circuit. Actually, it beats the Trailblazer in anything because it is faster and has more handling. Even G-Force, even though it is a heavy boy, but the Trailblazer is a heavy boy too. It's a great car, but you know, it's not something that I really love, so it doesn't deserve knighthood. Definitely not immortal. Followed by that is the Mercedes AMG S65. I'm actually a fan of this car. I'm a fan of Mercedes. I love the brand. I love this car. I think it's very nice looking. I love the picture. The only thing that really sets it down is, I guess, the statistics. It has no handling at all. 77 for a low ground clearance performance tire car, or just a low ground clearance performance car. But with that said, I do like this car. I like how I got it. There's a bit of a story. I got it in my 1 million pack opening with my good friend Sarah, and we were both genuinely happy to get this, and I was happy just to see her happy, honestly, because she knew nothing about the game, so it was nice to know that, you know, the game brought, you know, joy to her. But yeah, it's a great car. This is actually the second time I got the S65. I've had this car before, but I had to fuse it for the Roof CTR3 finals, and that's where it comes into potential fuse, because for the Roof CTR3 finals, I kept that Mercedes for as long as I could, but in the end, I needed to let go of, you know, epics that I really liked as well, that were like kind of fuse-ish, and because of that I had to get rid of it the first time. But for the second time, I'm gonna try and keep it as long as I can in my garage, but if the day comes where I have to let it go, I will let it go. So that's potential fuse. Moving on is the Skyline R34, and this is going to be the first car that drops into the sentimental ranks. You know, the R34 is my second favorite Skyline of all time. My favorite Skyline of all time is the R32. I'm a huge fan of those, and I'm a huge fan of this car. Unfortunately, the R34 is just so useless in top drives. People are never ever going to use it, but to me it's sentimental. Anyway, moving on to Nissan Patrol. Pretty, you know, nothing special about the car. It's just, you know, decent, and you know, I had it maxed out when it used to be an Ultra, so that car is useful. Followed by that is the Mercedes AMG S64. Now I really want to put it in sentimental, not gonna lie, because I think it's just an amazing car. In real life, it's such a beast, such a presence on the road, but it's just so useless in top drives. It's so useless, it's so bad. Like, this is worse than the R34, and you know, R34 I can put it in sentimental because it's like my top 2 favorite R34s, but this one is like, I feel like it has to be in potential fuse. I'm never ever gonna use this Mercedes AMG 6x6. There's literally no event where I can use it. It's so heavy, it has no handling, has no top speed, no MRA. What does it even have to it? I mean, I don't even use it in off-road events, in the daily events, or anything like that, because I would always prefer using my Colorado ZR2 over it, or my GMC Sierra All-Terrain. It's just not a good car. It's potential fuse, and it will be on the chopping block if the time comes. Followed by that is a Maserati Ghibli SQ4. Nothing much about that. That thing is trash. Followed by that is a Ford Mustang GT. This is the first car that's going into knighthood here. It's one of my first ever epics, I think. In fact, I got it when it used to be an ultra rare. I love this car. I use it a lot as well. This thing has over 1,000 races. You know, it's a really useful car. 4.0, 0 to 60, 91 handling. I got this when I was really new in the game as well, like probably 2 years ago by now. It's a great car, really great car. I use it in a lot of American events. There are not a lot of American cars where it's epic and also has medium ground clearance, and because of that Ford Mustang GT is so good. This Ford Mustang GT, however, is just useful. there's a difference, I swear. If you guys are like scratching your heads, the Ford Mustang that I put in knighthood is 3 stars, maxed out 699, but this one here that's under the useful category, it's 2 stars. I have it at like 666 or something like that, and because of that, it's just not as useful as the Ford Mustang in knighthood, but it's still useful. I still use it, and I use it in a lot of Ford events as well, and because of that, it falls under the useful category. Anyway, moving on to the Cadillac XT5. Now this one goes really close to knighthood. It would be a knighthood, it might even be an immortal if it used to be ultra, but because it got upgraded to epic, it goes into the useful pile. Honestly, that's the same for literally all 4 cars here. All these 4 cars, Range Rover, Patrol, Ford Mustang GT, XC5, they all used to be RQ22, and the only reason why all of them are maxed out is because they used to be ultra, and in no way in the right mind, if I got duplicates of any of these cars, will I max them out, if you know, now, since they're epic. Anyway, moving on to the BMW 335D. It's useful, once again, nothing too special about that. Next is the Subaru Impreza Wrx Sti. It's just sentimental. It's my favorite Subaru of all time. I think it's the nicest looking Subaru of all time, and honestly it looks like a muscle car, and I love it. And because of that, it's sentimental. I'm never gonna invest in it, honestly. Maybe like one day if I really run out of epics to fuse, epics to max, but that's not gonna be soon. And because of that, it goes into sentimental. It's locked because I like it. Followed by that is the Porsche RSR 3.0. Right now it's in useful. I'm probably going to bump it up to knighthood once I max it out, but my RSR Turbo isn't maxed out. It's actually at 006. I have 1 fuse into it and into its handling, and I'm slowly maxing that out as we go along. But yeah, for now it's useful. It'll probably go into knighthood if I max it out. Moving on to the Porsche 911 Carrera 4. Nothing too special about that. That thing is trash. Followed by that is the Maserati. That is also trash. It's funny about these 2 Maseratis. I could have maxed them out and then, you know, went on to win the prize car, which I think was the Cadillac CN. But eventually I realized, you know what? Not worth it. I'd rather just fuse them into my legendaries to win me another prize car in the future, whatever that may be. Probably, hopefully, Viper GTSR Part 2. But yeah, that's fused to me. Followed by that is the GMC Cyclone. This one is the one where I have a little bit of investment into it. It's at 1 star. Actually, this one's at 33.6. Because of that, it's useful. Once again, like the RSR, if I max it out, I'll put it into knighthood. But followed by that is the other GMC Cyclone I have, the duplicate, which has no upgrades into it whatsoever. That's going to be potential fuse. I will try and keep it around for as long as possible because it would be a power move to have 2 Cyclones maxed out, but for now it's nothing too special. Now moving on is the Ford Svt Raptor. This is going to be the first car that falls into immortal. It is the best off-roader pickup truck in the game, if I am correct, and also probably the best American off-road car in the game for now, until Hutch and Ford gets a makeover and brings in the newer Raptors, or even the Hennessy Velociraptor. But for now, that car deserves the immortal spot. It has not even over 1,000 races. It probably has over 2,000 races. I got this really long time ago, almost 2 years ago. January 2018 was when I got this. I remember that from a ×5 carbon fiber, and I haven't gotten one since. I love that car to death. Followed by that is the Dodge Charger RT Scat Pack. Pretty obvious, that's sentimental. Followed by that is the Chevrolet Mirai, which I have no upgrades into it. That's going to be trash. I'm not gonna max out the Mirai. This isn't like the same situation as the Cyclone. The Cyclone is, you know, really niche in its category, being a really fast 4-wheel drive standard tire car. And don't forget, this car has the potential of being buffed as well, because Hutch messed up the statistics. It doesn't go 0 to 60 in 5.3 seconds, the Cyclone. It goes in like 4.5. So if it does get the buff, it might even hit legendary, and because of that, I'm gonna keep both of them around, and that's why I want to keep both of them around. But the Mirai already got the upgrade that, you know, everyone was wanting it to get. Used to be ultra rare, but now it's an epic RQ24, and because of that, the duplicate is gonna be trash. However, the one that I have maxed out is indeed useful. However, it's not a car I like. I honestly think the Mirai is a pretty ugly car, and because of that, it's useful but not knighthood or anything like that. Followed by that is the Chevrolet Camaro Zl1. Well, you know, not a fan of muscle cars that are convertibles, honestly. but I have it maxed out. I used it. It was a really good component for helping me win the demon as well. It wasn't maxed out when I won the demon. It was at 2 stars when I won the demon, but I don't really use it a lot anymore, and because of that, it's just useful. Followed by that is the BMW M2, one of my favorite BMWs in the game. Not in the game, one of my favorite BMWs of all time, and because of that, it's sentimental, but it's still not the best, so, you know, it's just gonna be there. Followed by that is the Volvo Xc90. This car is useful. It has potential. You know, kind of like the RSR, it's gonna be there, and I'm probably gonna max it out down the road. However, unlike the RSR, if I max it out, it's gonna stay in useful. It's not a car which I love so much where I'll bump it up to knighthood. Followed by that is the Porsche 911 Gt3 Rs. It's just sentimental. I'm not gonna max it out anytime soon. It's not the best in any category, but the 996 Porsches are my favorite Porsches. I think they're the most good-looking Porsches of all time. I love the fried egg headlights. Followed by that is the Porsche 718 Boxer. That's potential fuse. This was a car I got really early on as well. I actually got it from the same ×5 carbon fiber as I did with the Svt Raptor, and that was when I was still new to the game, and I was 1-starring literally every epic I had. That's a regret. That's, you know, 20k I'll never get back, and I never used the 718 Boxer. Honestly, I never used the 718 Boxer, never, and I feel like I never will. And because of that, it's potential fuse, and I'm never gonna use it. Followed by that is the Mercedes AMG ML63. This one's hard. I don't know where to put it. You know, I have it maxed out once again, but then again, I never use it. It's kind of similar to the AMG G63, where I would just use ultra rare SUVs to substitute for this car in basically any event. I don't find a use for this AMG ML63. In fact, I forget that it's in my garage sometimes, and because of that, I shouldn't put it in useful. I should put it in sentimental fuse, but again, I shouldn't, because I'm gonna put it in sentimental because this is one of the first ever epics I've gotten, and one of my best friends drives this car. That's literally the reason why I put it in sentimental. That's because one of my best friends drives that car. Honestly, if he sells it, I'm probably going to put it down to potential fuse, but once again, I just don't want to fuse it because I put 20k into it, and that pisses me off. In fact, if you look in potential fuse, I have 2 cars which are 1-star. That's 40k I'm never back, and if I put the ML63 in it, that's 60k I'm never back. I'll never get back, and I just don't want to bear the thought of that. Anyway, moving on is the Mercedes AMG C63. That's going to be useful. This is a car kind of like the RSR, actually just like the RSR. I want to max it out, and when I max it out, I'll put it in knighthood. Followed by that is the Jaguar F-Pace. Definitely a useful car. I use it a lot. I don't plan on fusing it anytime soon, although I don't even plan on maxing it out anytime soon, but it helps me in British events. It is pretty fast, it has decent handling, and because of that, it's useful. Followed by that is the Ford Mustang Boss 302. Honestly, this thing is sentimental to me. I do want to max it out at some point because, as you guys know, I talked about the Ford Mustang GT, how it's like one of the only medium ground clearance American cars, and obviously the Ford Mustang Boss 302 is another American medium ground clearance car, which is obviously better, and if I have it maxed out, I'll probably put it in knighthood. The only problem is I have so many epics that I would love, and you know, so many epics that I would rather max out over the 302, where I don't see the 302 being maxed out anytime soon, and it's only useful if it's maxed out, so I can't even put it in the useful tag, and because of that, it's just sentimental. Moving on to the Camaro Zl1. This car is going under knighthood. This was a car that helped me win the demon along with the other Zl1, the convertible, but unlike the Zl1, I actually had this maxed for the demon finals, and I love that car. I love Zl1s. Followed by that are my 2 Z28s. The first one here, this Z28 is knighthood. This is the Z28 I got from the campaign. This thing is over 2 years old, has not even 2,000 races, 3,000 races. It used to be RQ26 long time ago, back in the day. Pepper Rich Farm remembers, where it also used to be medium ground clearance. It has decent MRA. I still use it a lot. I love that car. Followed by that is my second Z28, which I also maxed out. However, this one is going to be useful. This one is 969, and the one in knighthood is actually 996. I actually made it into a dragster. Why there's a difference is because, well, sentimental value kind of adds to the Z28 996. Because of that, and also because it's from the campaign and how old it is, I have it in knighthood. The 969 is going to be useful. Followed by that is the Caterham CSR. This is potential fuse. it hurts me. That's another 1-star epic that I got really early on in the game, where I wish I did not invest in. So that's 60k, and as you can tell, I have a lot of epics I got early on in the game that are still here, and that is because I don't want to fuse them just because I've already invested in them, but then I don't even use them because they're so useless to me. It's weird. It's definitely weird. Anyway, moving on is the BMW 740D. This car deserves a knighthood. It's so useful. It won me so many events. It was like the second best standard tire car, besides the Cadillac CT6 before German Renaissance. Obviously, German Renaissance introduced a lot of heavy hitter standard tire 4-wheel drive cars, which doesn't make the 740D as amazing as it used to be. But, you know, I haven't gotten those new German Renaissance BMW, so the 740D remains as one of my best standard tire cars, and because of that, it deserves knighthood and it deserves to stay there. Followed by that is the 911 Turbo. Honestly, this car is useless. I really want to put it in potential fuse, but I can't because I've actually put 2 fuses into it. I have the handling on this thing maxed out, so it has to be under useful, although it's not even useful. The thing is just no MRA. And I mean, like I said, you know, that's the handling maxed out. For an RK26 car, 94 handling, that's a shocker. That honestly is a shocker. The reason why I put upgrades into it was because the Camaro Zl1 finals was all Porsche, and I really wanted the Camaro Zl1, and at the time I didn't have the RSR, so I had to make do with what I had, which was the 911 Turbo, and the 911 Turbo did me no justice. Anyway, followed by that is the 911 GT2. Once again, sentimental, nothing too special about it, besides the fact that I love it. Fried egg headlights, once again. The 996 Porsche is my favorite Porsche. Followed by that is the 911 Carrera S. This one deserves knighthood. Why? Because it is the first ever Porsche epic I've maxed out. Honestly, it's one of the first ever epics I've ever maxed out. I got this a year and a half ago, June 2018, and because of the Carrera S, I won the Porsche 918 on the first time it came out. Followed by that is the Mitsubishi. This one is 1-star, so I'm going to put it under useful, but the 3-star version of the 969 I have it, will go under knighthood. This is one of the first epics I've ever gotten in the game that wasn't from the campaign, and it is, I think, the second epic I ever maxed out. The first epic I ever maxed out was indeed this Camaro right here, the Z28, and the second epic I ever maxed out was the Mitsubishi Lancer, and I still use it a lot till this day. You know what? I changed my mind. This Mitsubishi is immortal. Yeah, that's right. That Mitsubishi is immortal. I really love that Evo, and because of this Evo and how good it has done me, I want to max out the second one, but this second one doesn't have the sentimental implications as the first one, so if I do max this out, it will just fall under knighthood. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. Followed by that is the Mercedes AMG GT. This car is useful, sentimental, somewhere in between. I'm gonna put it under sentimental. I like the car. That's it. I'm never going to max it out. I have the Hellcats, don't need the Mercedes. Followed by that is the A45. This car is useful. 4-wheel drive, medium ground clearance, and it has literally the same handling as the Porsche 911 Turbo, and the A45 is even medium. So because of that, you know, that A45 is really good. I got to max it out one day. It's definitely on the list. Followed by that is the Lotus 211 Supercharged, useful car. And then followed by that is the Charger Srt Hellcat, which I recently maxed out. That is obviously immortal. I love my Chargers and I love Dodge, and the Chargers are my favorite. I mean, I talk about the Challengers all the time. I know that, and I really want the wide body. Honestly, I should make another. Yeah, let's do that. Let's give it pink, and let's call it. Oh, that was weird. No. You were red before, right? Okay. What we want to do here, and this is going to be a long video, I just realized, but it's a fun one. I like it a lot. Add row above new. Yeah, okay, cool. And we're gonna call this wide body. What? Why is it logging out? Why is it? Okay, come on, don't go away. Wide body. Make it pink, and we're done. Yep, that's wide body. Nothing's gonna be there. Sad boy hours. Anyway, let's move on to sentimental now. Literally every single Hellcat. Every single Hellcat goes under sentimental. And then this one, the Challenger Srt Hellcat, the one I have maxed out, this falls under knighthood. You know, it ain't no wide body for sure, but it gets the job done. And when it used to have amazing MRA, I mean, it still does have good MRA, but not as good as it used to be. When it had that old MRA, it was really just one of the best. Because of that, it's a knighthood car. Followed by that is the Chevrolet Camaro Z06. This car falls under Immortal. Definitely love this. Because of this car, I won the Roof CTR3, and because of that, that falls under Immortal. Basically, any car that wins me a prize car falls under Immortal, besides the Camaro Zl1 convertible, because that one, you know, it wasn't maxed out when I had it. Anyway, moving on is the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray Z51. I got this car, I think, on Christmas, and I haven't maxed out. It's a genuinely amazing car. I love it a lot. Falls under knighthood, just shy of Immortal in my opinion. Followed by that is the Corvette, the duplicate version, and that's gonna fall under potential fuse. I don't think I'm gonna max out this the duplicate Corvette Z51 because I have like 3 maxed out Corvettes already. I have the Z51 Max, I have the Grand Sport, I have the Z06. So because of that, the duplicate's gonna fall under potential fuse. Followed by that is the Grand Sport. Corvette Grand Sport 4 falls under knighthood. Definitely is an amazing car, but it did not turn out to be as amazing as I thought it would be. I thought it would be a Corvette killer. I thought it would be the best Corvette out of all the Corvettes, but unfortunately that goes to the Lingenfelter, and I don't have the Lingenfelter. So because of that, because it turned out to be a little bit of a disappointment, it's a knighthood instead of Immortal. Followed by that is the Bmw M4. This falls under useful. Definitely gonna max it out one day, but it won't be soon. And then we have the BMW M4. This falls under knighthood, and the BMW M3 GTS also falls under knighthood. Unlike its BMW brethrens, however, the M3 CS is one that is close to my heart, and because of that, it falls under Immortal. I love the M3 CS. The M3 CS, the Corvette Grand Sport, and the Lamborghini LP550 is my holy trinity of epics, because they hit 98 handling and they hit low 0 to 60s that are barely seen throughout the epic ranks. I love that car. Followed by that is the duplicate M3 CS. I'm gonna put this under useful. I might have 2 maxed out, honestly. You know, I'm gonna change it a bit. This Charger Srt Hellcat that I have in sentimental, I'm gonna move it to useful again, because I might honestly have maxed both of them out. Followed by that is the Audi Rs7 Sportback. I have this maxed out. I never use it anymore. Honestly, I will put it in potential fuse if I got a duplicate, but because it's maxed out, I'm never gonna fuse it, but it's useless after the nerf. Followed by that is the RS6. I'm gonna put this in knighthood. I'm gonna give this car credit where it's due. This car has over 4,000, probably over 5,000 races for me. The RS6 used to be one of my most used cars along with the 12C, but the medium to low ground clearance change kind of killed it. But it, you know, it's done a lot for me. And because of that, I can't just put it in useful. That would be disrespecting it, and because of that, it goes under knighthood. Followed by that is the RS3. That's useful. I'm not going to max it out anytime soon, but I know what it's capable of. Followed by that is the Lancer Evo. This one falls under Immortal. Once again, as you can tell, I'm quite a fan of my Mitsubishis. In fact, I'm genuinely quite a fan of my Mitsubishis. That falls under Immortal. And finally is the S8 Plus. Honestly, potential fuse. I'm joking. It's not potential fuse, but it is definitely not the car it used to be. It's useful, but I'm definitely not going to max it out anytime soon. Anyway, guys, this is a long video, but I'm going to try my best to keep it under 30 minutes, so I'm going to hit it about like 28, 29. This is all my epics ranked, and I tried to be as fast as possible. Let me know if you disagree or agree with my decisions. Obviously, if you disagree, I'm not gonna understand. Well, I guess I will. I don't know. This is my epic, so you know, that's how I dictate them, how they're gonna be. It's nice to see it because I actually needed to organize my cars like this to see what I really wanted to fuse, what I really wanted to let go of. And honestly, when you look at all the epics I have under sentimental, it might trigger some people because sentimental cars are cars I'll just never max out. So honestly, technically sentimental is potential fuse, and if I were to fuse all of those epics, I would have literally another maxed out legendary. But I'm not gonna do that because I love my cars, and this is a car game, and this is how I play it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, long one, but I really enjoyed it. If you want to see more of this, let me know down in the comments below. Once again, if you want to, give this a shot, I'll have the link in the description to this tier list below. Anyway, with that said, hope you guys have a great day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you all next time. Blossom out.